French does have some exceptions to their pronunciation rules, not nearly as many as English does, but both are acceptable. The fleur de lis is an old symbol going back to the Middle Ages in France for divine kingship, all right? And I believe it, I could have Wikipedia open here, but rather than that, I'll wing it. I believe that the three petals of the flower were shown as representing the Trinity, and that it was divinely inspired kingship, queenship, etc. But in any case, you see it not just in France, you see it in other royal households, royal families, and but it's most prominent in France. And you go to even just St. Anne's here in Detroit, or Notre Dame, or Sainte-Chapelle in Paris. Everywhere you go, you'll see the fleur de lis all over the place. So there. Okay. So,
Alan.
just a little advance preview a little bit later. We're going to be telling some stories from the legends of Le Détroit. It's a very unusual book. Some of you may be familiar with it. It was published in 1883 by a certain Mary Caroline Watson Hamlin, like Hamlin Road up in Oakland County. And she took it upon herself, she must have taken years to do this, to gather all kinds of legends that she had heard growing up along Lake St. Clair. And she also did a second half of the book on genealogy. Well, I know from my genealogy friends, it wasn't very systematically done, so we're not going to talk about any of the genealogy stuff. But there's some great stories in here. Some of you may have heard of Le Nain Rouge, or of the Lutin, the Loup-Garou, and we'll be talking about that pretty soon. You ready to go, Elizabeth?
Wait.
Okay, all right. Is that sound system?
This one? Should be good. Keep talking.
Let her talk.
Testing.
You know, this is a better solution. You got mic, and I can eat my glasses. Keep talking, Elizabeth.
Okay, can you hear me? Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Elizabeth Born-Nido, and I am the chair of Rendez-vous, Détroit, this event. And we've been doing this now this will be our, fifth year. We had to take a year off for COVID 1 year. First time that we've done it here at the Dawson Great Lakes Museum, and I think it's a pretty swell place. I like the view of the river and everything. So 3 years ago, we created a special award. And we did this to honor people who have done an outstanding job in creating awareness about French colonial history and educating the public. And 3 years ago, we honored Rosaline and Harry Burgess, who were the founders of the Feast of the St. Clair up in Port Huron. That festival ran for 40 years. And if any of you have ever been up to that event in the past, it was pretty amazing. And so they were our first recipients of the award, along with Ron Miller. Stand up, Ron. Come on.
Come on, Ron.
And Ron was a recipient because he's been doing reenacting and educating the public for many, many years and doing a fabulous job. So it's always, difficult to choose because we know so many knowledgeable living history reenactors. But this year, two very special people came to mind. And so I am very pleased and proud and privileged to present this year awards to two very special people. And I want to make sure, oh yeah, so everybody's in the hall. Okay. So this year, our special Rendez-vous Détroit award winners are Ken Roberts, and also our lovely and beautiful Angel Smith. Mickey. And I have to tell you, these two people are amazing, and they're very beloved in the French historical community in southeastern Michigan. And Mickey was an original founding member of the La St. Clair Voyageur group, started in the 1980s. 1997, okay. So she and her late husband Jerry did that for many, many years, and I'm gonna let you talk about that. And then Ken, he's been reenacting for like over 50 years. He's a regular at historic Fort Wayne, the River Brazen Battlefield, and you are truly in the midst of a movie star because he was even in Last of the Mohicans with Daniel Day-Lewis. So
I have my hair.
yes, he does. So I have to get something of props. So you can hold this and talk about your experience in just a second.
It was a lot of fun. I was down there for 5 weeks down in North Carolina, and the first day we was on set, I was just dressed as a regular with a white tricorn hat on, and we did a few takes of marching in and out of the fort, and the director, Mike Mayan, he says, where's our grenadiers? He says, this was in September or October, and he says, we need grenadiers, and a lot of them had to go home because their kids were back in school and all that. So Dale Dye has played in a lot of movies. He's the guy that gets the order to go save Private Ryan and saving Private Ryan. And so he says, Dale, he says, I want 18 grenadiers down here now. We got the wig people coming down here. Grenadiers were the only ones that wore wigs. And I'll tell you, it was quite an experience to wear that thing 18 hours a day. But anyway, so you had to wear wigs, we had to wear a special shirt and coats with the bearskin hats. But the bearskin hats actually were French and Indian War, not, Revolutionary War, not French and Indian War. We should have been wearing a mitre cap like a pope. The drummer in the movie was only one wearing the correct uniform. But anyway, that's Hollywood.
A true reenactor.
That's Hollywood. Anyway.
Thank you for choosing me, one of the recipients. I'm really thrilled and it surprised beyond belief. I just love reenacting so much. My husband and I got wind of this through Lake St. Clair Metro Park, and so I went to the very first meeting and I thought, well, this is for me because I love history and I have French ancestry. So when I came home, I told my husband, I'm joining this and I want you to join too, even though he's German and Polish. He joined and he loved it as much as I did, and still do. He passed away almost a year and a half ago, and he was the French fur trader. He was the guy who would be outside the fort, exchanged furs for the Native Americans, and give them whatever they would need, pots and pans and knives, and never alcohol. And so we just continued, and I loved what I was doing, so I had to also get a skill. So I decided I'd like to be a candle maker, so I did that for about 20 years, and I love that. I did beeswax candles, and when I ran out of candle wax and the candle wicking, I decided, okay, now's the time to do something else. So, but I love it, I still love it, and I've been with them so many years, and I never stopped loving it as much as I did before.
All right, well, and Jean Bernadette, I am so pleased to present you with this certificate of our appreciation and that we honor you, and we're just so happy for everything you've done for the people of southeastern Michigan and educating people about French colonial history. So there's your certificate, and then I'll show you the bag. So, thank you. And Ken, this is for you. There's your certificate. So take the bag, and then I'll show you what's inside. They don't have to open it up.
Unfurl, yeah. And to unfurl my flag. But I always choose this as the gift because this is a flag of the city of Detroit. And so you are the recipients of this flag along with your certificate. But this really says it all about how Nikki and Ken have so wonderfully, taught people about our history. And I am a descendant. I'm Métis, French, and Native American. So I really appreciate this.
Can you stay there and they stand with the flag and you
Okay. So thank you for what you've done.
While he's taking the picture, you probably know the fleur de lis in the bottom left-hand corner, the French side, upper right-hand corner, the lions, the English lions, the American flags. You see in the middle is the symbol of when Detroit burned down in 1805, almost completely. And the slogan of the city was coined at that time by a certain Gabriel Richard, the famous civic leader and the first priest ever elected to Congress of the United States. But Michigan was only a territory at that time, so he was a non-voting representative in Congress. But you can see it says, Speramus meliora resurgit cineribus, and my Latin is terrible, my pronunciation's even worse, but it basically means, let us hope for better things, it will rise from the ashes, and that's what we all need as hope. And although that was coined 217 years ago, it's just as applicable today as it was then. So by the way, for those who were here this morning when we had the video link with Cadillac's hometown in France at 11 o'clock, they very proudly displayed their City of Detroit flag, and they were very, very pleased about it. And so I've taken them one when I was there in 2019. So anyway,
Thank you.
congratulations. Okay, so okay, so we've got a little time to fill, but actually no, they asked me to recount a few of the classics here at the Strait.